Hello, Uniqlos! Welcome back to the YouTube side of everything. It's been a really long time since I've posted a YouTube video here. I'm so sorry. I think it's been since December because it's been absolutely nuts. If you follow me on Instagram or I guess watching short form, I shared in the last video that I'd be taking a hiatus because I've been doing the 30 Lessons by 30 series, which concluded and the results were insane. And that was such a huge learning experience for me. And now it is the era of our wedding. Yes.
It's March.
So we're literally in our hotel in Taipei because our wedding is this week. Today's Sunday and the wedding's Friday. Every day has been extremely busy, but we thought it would be nice to do a little Q&A of the pre-wedding planning experience because it's chaotic. A quick update on where things are at today. We just came back from China to visit Kevin's family a week and a half ago. I fell on my stairs, rolled my ankle, sprained it really badly, and I went to the Chinese chiropractor and he manipulated my foot and it was the most traumatic thing ever, and I think I'll share that with you in the next vlog. I'm in crutches and I am in a wheelchair.
It happened right before we left.
So that causes complications. Oh, I just did my wedding nails.
Yay.
Yay. And we're headed out to a big family dinner tonight where his parents will meet my extended family. Big event. Yeah.
Huge.
Huge. Oh, also, I'll show you this, but right now our view is of the Taipei 101 Tower and it's gorgeous. This is one of my favorite hotels. We're in Han's house. I am thrilled to be here. So shall we get started? I posted on my IG story what questions you may have. We put it up on a Figma and we categorized it into a few categories here, hopefully. And then we're just gonna go through them. It'll be packed. So get ready. Get your teas, your bobas, your drinks ready. Stay hydrated and let's chat. Let's go ahead and get started with the first category. It's the couple stuff. So how am I and Kevin dividing up responsibilities? How are we dividing it up?
I think we're choosing things to own, and then whoever owns this, they need to get it done, no matter what it takes. And that can still include the other person, but one person needs to drive it.
We kind of assigned each other as DRIs, directly responsible individuals from Apple culture. We can't half be doing something. We have to be the full owner and be fully accountable. But I think in the end, we ended up both being accountable for everything.
I think a lot of the time what really happened was I would start from 0, take it to 80, and then take it to Chloe for the last 80 to 100. 80 to 100 is still pretty much half of it effort-wise. So I was doing as much as I can without her and then drag her out, be like, I need to finish this. The seating chart. I made seating charts for everything, showed it to Chloe. Chloe's like, what the heck are you doing? And then we did it together.
Because I have an opinion on everything.
Next question. What are some important conversations to have with your partner throughout this process?
The first thing is budget. Completely budget. Because we had the line on it. What is that number we're willing to spend? This budget would be crazy.
Budget was hard.
Budget was really hard.
Budget is hard.
Was it hard for us to align?
Yeah, we started a number and it crept up, and then we thought it'd be that number and then it crept up again. So this is a continuous conversation.
We'll talk about budget in more detail very soon. The second is a number of attendees and the criteria for the attendees.
Small wedding, big wedding. Yeah. But we have different definitions of big and small.
What's big and small? What's medium? Blah, blah, blah. And I think we used a lot of our other friends' weddings as references. We asked them how many people and how much their wedding was.
How intimate it feels.
Yeah, that was hard. Number 3 is how high touch / hands off we want to be with the planning.
Because I think some friends, they're like, we just let our wedding planners take care of everything.
That's true.
We just say we want X, Y, Z. Those are the only important things to do for us, and then everything else you can take care of. But we're not like that.
We're not chill like that.
We're planned down to the minute. There's no gaps in our playbook.
The fourth is location. Okay, so we thought we wanted to do in LA, but then
nothing was impressive.
Nothing was impressive. We were just like, this sucks. This is expensive. So we ended up doing it in Taiwan. Next question. What is the toughest challenge and favorite part about planning as a couple?
The hardest part was working with Taiwanese people. Just
I'm
language-wise.
I'm a Taiwanese person.
Sorry. The hardest part was just talking to the venues, the vendors, the wedding planners.
Everything's online app. Everything's in Chinese. And the way that people communicate here is in JPEGs. They'll literally send you the JPEG of the receipt or the invoice or the menu, and we can't read it.
We can't read it.
So we have to Google Lens translate.
We've missed important messages because they sent it in Chinese and we're like, oh, we'll read it later.
Yeah.
And then later it was too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
What was your favorite part?
We had a lot of favorite parts.
We can't talk about our favorite part yet.
We can't talk about our favorite part.
You'd have to sign an NDA.
Yeah.
So we can't tell you yet.
But can you sign the NDA?
No.
You have to submit the NDA.
Check the description down below for that.
I think the second favorite thing is being in Asia together, seeing his family for the first time.
You meeting my family was nice. Yeah.
Seeing your wife is so cute.
Yeah.
I love senior citizens. I love them. They're so cute.
And then today, my family's going to be your family.
Yeah. So
even just seeing our friends in Asia today, too. I hung out with a few of our friends for lunch today. It's just nice.
Michael, Flora, Yi, Maggie.
Across the world,
Yeah. We haven't spent this much time with our families, our respective families, and seeing them together and take care of each other is very heartfelt. Next category, timeline, logistics, and guests. What does the timeline look like? How long did it take for each step?
We booked the venues a year ago.
Yeah, because I was in Taiwan a year ago for the SAT Knowledge Product Management course that I shot. I got laid off in March. I went to Taiwan last year and I looked at venues.
You were alone and then you got sick.
And then I got really sick.
So then I last minute flew in.
We toured the venues a year ago and then we signed the paperwork after we got back to LA.
And then I think like maybe 9 months ago is when we like figured out the guest list and sent all the RSVPs out.
That's true.
And then we didn't touch anything for 3 months. And then 6 months out, we started like thinking about planning the wedding.
Yeah. We didn't have a wedding planner too. We had like a coordinator, but we didn't have planners. And so we just didn't do anything until
November, December, we started more seriously planning the wedding.
And we realized we needed a planner.
But then 30 lessons happened.
Oh my God. And then 30 lessons happened. But
So
we
then
got
we
a planner.
still didn't.
Oh,
And then we got planners.
Yeah.
And then 3 months out, we started scrambling.
The last 3 months were horrendous. I hate it.
That's
That
about
was the timeline.
How did you decide the number of guests and who to invite?
We listed all our friends, we ranked them, and then we landed around 100 friends.
And it feels weird to say that, but I think everyone who has done a wedding has ranked their friends. It's always like they
tier
have
one,
to
tier
be
two.
there. Oh, it'd be really nice if they were there.
Yeah.
Oh, if we have space, we'll invite them.
And plus, people have like their plus ones, their partners, their loved ones, and then we don't know all of them. So that was a decision point too. Would we rather have a close friend and a plus one or close friend and a not as close friend? That was hard because like, you have to invite them all. So there was a lot of massaging the spreadsheets. Finding my guest list for my family was like also
Oh my
ridiculously
God.
hard
Yeah.
because I don't know these people. Like a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, it's this auntie from this side, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, do you even know their name? And they're like, no.
Your extended family is decently large.
I didn't know I had a
not
large
small.
extended family because I've never met them. One of my life mentors was like, Chloe, you have to do no ring, no bring because no girlfriends, boyfriends of like the last 3 to 6 months, last year. No, none of that. No ring, no bring. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And we tried, but we didn't. And we'll share more later because it was a little bit dramatic. It was really hard. We had people break up. We had people get in new relationships. And so we're like, oh, I don't know. We should give them a plus one. We basically said no plus ones unless we allocated it for you.
Next set of questions.
Yeah.
Taiwan versus US.
Wow.
International weddings versus domestic.
Domestic.
Why did you decide to host your wedding in Taiwan?
Because Taiwan lit.
Taiwan #1.
SoCal did not have good enough venues and they were all extraordinarily expensive. It just felt like a normal hotel wedding with really bad food. Everything's just upcharged. Everything's like triple what it can be if it weren't a wedding. And so I was like, I'd rather not do that. It doesn't feel like, oh, everyone can look forward to it. So I thought, why don't we do something crazy and host it in Taiwan? And that way everyone can look forward to it. And you're either all in or you're all out.
I think the idea of having good food at our wedding
Yeah.
was like actually decently important to
Yeah.
us.
Will we have good food? I have no idea. We're hoping that we will
Hoping
have
it's
good food.
good food. It should be good. A lot of our friends too, they like to travel internationally
they
or
do.
have been looking forward to going to Taiwan. So
If we were much younger, then destination wedding is not the move because it is several $1,000s. You're basically asking your friends to spend several $1,000s to come. But since we are older and more settled into our careers, a lot of our friends, it is within the budget range.
they have the means.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them always wanted to come to Taiwan. And what better reason to visit Taiwan? It's not our wedding. I just love Taiwan, and I feel like I wanted to bring Taiwanese culture and share that out with not just my friends / family, but with the community of all you, all the Uniqlos, all the viewers. I think it's an amazing place. I grew up a lot here. Also, my grandma's here, and then she has a really bad knee and she can't really travel, so I wanted to do it for her. What are the biggest differences between hosting a wedding in Taiwan versus US?
We talked about it a little bit already, but the idea is that the food is
You
better.
come to Taiwan to eat food, okay?
Yeah, everything's definitely cheaper here
Yeah, still expensive, but like cheaper
than
the
US. We're doing way more than
Yeah.
we would have done in the US because of that. Working with people is very different here culturally.
very
It's
different.
kind of hard to describe, but everyone is very
polite and indirect.
And
you know me, I hate that. Just cut to the chase. Be straightforward. Tell me if it is or it isn't.
And there's a lot of like middlemanning here, probably
lot.
mostly because of our language barrier too, but we have to go talk to all the vendors through our wedding planners,
Yeah.
etc.
Is it really cheaper?
Yes and no. Individually, everything is cheaper, but it's tough because then we looked at it and we were like, well, everything's cheaper, so we should actually do 2 days worth of events.
Okay, we messed up there. I mean, the idea was we wanted a ceremony too, but then
And a banquet.
Taipei doesn't really have venues for Western ceremonies, and we wanted an Asian banquet because they were in different locations. It didn't make sense for it to be in one day, so we did 2 days. That meant our budget like
And
doubled.
we wanted to host more for our friends because
Correct.
it's like hosting our friends to come all the way out here
All
for
the
only
way.
like 4 or
Yeah.
6 hours didn't feel quite right
Yeah.
either.
Plus, we wanted them to experience nightlife, so we have an after party too, and we wanted it to be close.
It's basically 3 separate events
Yes.
now, and then now it's not that much cheaper at all.
Yes, yes.
So, how do you manage guests coming from all around the world? Any tips on destination weddings?
It was awful. I think some people are really responsible, but other people, i.e. Mr. Eric Way from the Jomo
Oh,
podcast.
you're calling him out.
Yeah, I'm going to call him out. And when he sees this, he will know. I check in in with a lot of my guests because I'm just like, just in case I have an inkling. I'm like, hey, did you book your flights yet? He's like, yes, I booked my one-way ticket. And I'm like, one way? What? He's like, yeah, I didn't book my way back. I'm like, okay, cool. When are you coming in? Oh, a few days before. I'm like, okay, cool. Can you just send me your flight itinerary? And he's like, no, I'm coming in a couple days before. I'm like, yeah, just send it. He sends it. I'm just like, bro, this is the week after my wedding. And he's like, oh no. He wasn't the only one too. Some people like came in after the first day of wedding because we have 2 days. People were confused when the actual wedding date was.
Because you lose a day.
You leave Wednesday, you arrive Friday. So I had to check people's itinerary and be like, hey, so did you purposely come a day late? And they're like, what? And then they had to rebook their flights. So that was hard. So we have an attendance spreadsheet of people when they're coming in and out.
I think you just really have to manage your spreadsheets.
Yes.
Well.
Next category, budget. Juicy. What are the most surprising costs? Kevin got the most mad.
This is like the most ridiculous thing that I think we still don't regret, but it's still ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
We did not like the chairs the venue provided at our ceremony because they were brown.
And brown is the color of wealth in Taiwan or Asia.
It's not like a nice brown.
It's like a poop brown, like a dirt poop brown.
We need 120 chairs or so. Anything you add up times 120, it adds up.
How much was it? 1,000?
It ended up being $1,500.
For 45 minutes of sitting on your butt.
What?
But because the photos and videos are very important to us, that was the argument to have it.
Dumb. Anything per head was really expensive, like gifts, food, snacks. It was about $100 per person for like just food for a meal, which is very expensive. I'm confused. And then decor and flowers were so expensive.
We ended up getting fake flowers to save costs.
Videography was expensive and my dresses were expensive, which you will see. I went so extra on it, and usually people say the dress doesn't matter.
It matters to you.
Let's move on.
To you. Is it worth all the money? Would you do it again knowing what you know now?
No, it's not worth the money. Yes, we would probably do it again.
I think it's one of those things you look at the money and you go, fine. It's like totally not worth it.
It's totally not worth it.
But you don't regret it.
Yeah, you don't regret it. What were you willing to compromise on to cut cost? What are the must-haves that you're willing to splurge on? We were bare minimum on the flowers. It's not going to look like decorative. It's just going to be like, what is the minimum? Planners, tell me the minimum and we'll do that.
The other thing was we had a shot video/photo inspiration where it was like in the evening, a bunch of cold sparklers behind us. One of our venues does that. But it was $200 per sparkler and there's 5 sparklers.
So it's $1,000.
And all or nothing. $1,000.
For 5 seconds of sparkle.
So do we want to spend $1,000 to have one nice photo/video?
We were close. We were like, for the shot.
We almost did it. The must-haves that we're spending a lot on are videographers.
Videographers for you.
We're flying out a whole team from like
Malaysia and Australia who understood content too. It's hard to find videographers who understand content.
But it's like for her job.
But it's also for us. And it's also for you because I think this is such a cool, unique experience and I want to bring everyone together.
We splurged on family too. We booked a lot of their flights.
Nice hotels.
Nice hotels for them. We just want them to make their stay comfortable. It's my parents' first time in Taiwan. So
nice hotels.
How did we decide on a budget? What is the budget? Initially and now. The very, very first budget we threw out there was $30K.
Because that's the average in America. And I was like, we're going to do average.
We're not going to spend more in Taiwan than we do in America. And then very quickly we were like, okay, that makes no sense, $50K. Because we booked 3 events. So.
And then a lot of our friends were like at the $80K range for California. A very standard run-of-the-mill wedding was $80K. After very financially savvy and they like cut costs a lot, which is great. So we're like, okay, that sounds doable. If it's going to be in Taiwan, probably cheaper.
We wanted to be less than 80K. So we said 50K, 60K.
And then went up to 80K. It went up by a lot. And we will reveal the actual budget after everything because there's a lot of other expenses that we're not sure that will come up. When we do the post-wedding debrief, we will share with you what we actually spent and the breakdowns.
The total's not under 80K though. It happens.
So it'd be like that. Next category, planners and vendors category. What are the biggest red flags when looking for planners and vendors?
I think we just need responsiveness, especially with the time zone difference. We are sending out all of our questions beforehand, before they wake up, so that when they wake up, they can take care of everything. And if they don't respond in that time, then it's like, well, we just lost a whole day.
It peeves me when, I'm sure a lot of people experience this at work, when you send a lump of questions and people only respond to some of the questions or like your last question, but not your first question. So that was really annoying. Another is when people respond back with no, but they don't explain why. They just say, no, this is just our policy. And I'm just like, what? Why? And they don't explain it. They just say, oh, this is just how it's done. And I hate that kind of like traditional ass, stay in your lane type thinking. That's what irks me the most because I'm like a problem solver. Just tell me what the problem is and let's creatively find a solution. And that's just not the culture here.
Pro tip, when you send a lot of questions, use a numbered list.
Yeah.
That way they can reply back and number each one.
Async communication skills.
Next question. What's the biggest communication challenge with Taiwanese vendors and planners?
It's definitely the culture of communication. And we alluded to this earlier where like they're very indirect and they don't say everything and you kind of have to guess what they're saying, which which I think is the literal worst. And they're trying to be polite.
If they're working on something, they'll tend to not tell us until it's done. And then we end up checking in like, hey, it's been 2-3 days. What's happening?
Going on?
Like,
they try to guess what we want, but they don't like tell us that they're trying to guess what they want. And
the
result is
nothing
happens. Yeah. And then we're like freaking out. The next question is, how do you deal with the urge to fire the planner or anyone else involved in the process?
Generally, everyone has been good.
Everyone had good intentions, except for one fool, one vendor.
And we almost had to cut some people, but in the end, they were still doing everything in good faith, working well with us, and so we just de-scoped.
I think a problem was back to the communication thing we would say, oh, here are our requirements, and people would be like, yeah, we can do it, and we're like, okay. And then when we're going through it and we're finding out more about them, I just knew they couldn't do it. They were just signs. And I'm just like, okay, well, I think we should realign what you're capable of and what we want, because the worst result is you try to do something that's not to our expectation. I will escalate. I will address. I'm a very confrontational person.
The conversation goes from like, oh, we can do it. And then we ask them, okay, well, when are we going to do it? And then they're like, I don't know if we have time to do it. And we're like,
I had to playbook everything out and be like, I don't think you're able to do this, given what I understand so far. And then we had to have really deep heart to heart, really be like, what are your strengths? What are you capable of? What are your weaknesses? And you know what? Let's just focus on your strengths and let's lean into that. So I think that was really important.
Next question. How do you set expectations for everyone involved?
Well, I'm a product manager.
Your job is setting
whipped
expectations.
Up the Notion, a Figma for all the visuals and all the pictures. We have a Line group chat. We have calendar events. We have bi-weekly meetings. We have a Google Doc. We have a wiki page. We have a running meeting notes. We have the numbered async questions. And we had kickoffs and we set those expectations on my communication style. I kept saying this. I'm very intense, direct. I just need to know. Let's solve this together. I think this is my problem. I think I am very kind presenting. And yes, I am kind. I really am. But when we're getting work done, my Scorpio comes out. I'm like where is this? Why isn't it done? I think I'm a very empathetic and fair person, but I don't let things slide. I address things. I confront. I have the hard conversation. And I like to tell people that I'm like the older sister that makes you cry, but I'm staying up with you until 3 a.m. until you finish your homework and helping you every step of the way. Like, I think the Jomo people know my personality a bit more. I think on YouTube, my YouTube channel, I share my more soft side, but I get things done. So we really had to align those expectations. There was some drama for sure. Next category, regrets and learnings. What are your top 3 learnings and regrets about wedding planning? Top tips for those going through wedding planning right now. Tips.
Number 1, only do it when you're financially ready to do it, because weddings are very expensive. And if you have anything else going in your life, I would take care of that first, because it's very hard to juggle like 2 big life events at the same time, especially when one of them is a wedding.
Agree. 2?
I would plan very early as you can, like 1 to 2 years out, because don't be like us planning 3 to 6 months and we're scrambling. We have like 4 a.m. nights trying to get everything done in time. It was really tough, especially if you do something like international. It's just everything is so much logistically harder. Number 3, only put money into the things that you care about, because again, weddings are very expensive. You need to figure out where you're willing to cut corners and where you're not willing. Also, I don't really have the first-hand experience here, but everyone who has had a wedding has told us everything's going to be such a blur. You're not going to remember everything. So make sure you have people, a team, and your guests filming everything and then send it to you later so that you'll have the memories, because you're not going to be there. We're going to be like changing makeup and getting stuff ready and everything. We're not going to know.
It's true. Okay, regrets. 1, planning so late. We kind of screwed up on that. That's on us. 2, I don't think this is a huge regret, because I think we did our best at the time, but I think being ultra ahead of the curve on addressing the Taiwanese culture part, if we had more direct conversations, because the first time people are like, oh yeah, of course. But then when shit hits the fan, we forget that first meeting and what we said there, and they freak out, and people freak out at my responses. And I'm like, hey guys, it's me checking in, doing my thing. 3 is probably working with one of our vendors, which I will decide if I will reveal later on, because we're still in the middle of everything and we'll see if things turn around. Drama? We ready for drama?
Drama llama.
Someone had asked, why do you say the wedding industry is a scam? Not just everything's triple the price. There was a wine list. We were ordering wine and it said it would be $50 and I'm like, okay, that's the cheapest bottle of wine.
And then we looked it up.
We're like, okay, I wonder how much it would be if we just bought it ourselves.
$10.
It was $10.
But if we bought it ourselves, there's a corkage fee instead.
And that's a very expensive corkage. It's about $200.
$200, yeah. So we bring our own wine's also expensive.
Yes, exactly.
We scam ourselves too, because every time something's more expensive, we're like, well, it is once in a lifetime. What else are we going to do it?
We do scam ourselves.
Right? You're scamming yourselves.
That's just a few $100. That's just $1,000.
It's a wedding. Like, it's worth it. Yeah.
That's $200. My other theory, this is very interesting. I think that the people who work in the wedding industry are not very good because your clients and your customers are only there with you the first time. And very few people actually give clear feedback and they're willing to have that confrontational conversation. Generally, people in this industry don't have recurring clients who force them to improve. So your broken system or whatever is a one-time, make that mistake and you keep making that mistake over and again and you don't really improve. But in tech or corporate, you have performance reviews. You got to keep working with these people. You have incentives to do better. So my take is the wedding industry is sus.
The clients are all one-time clients for the most part.
Next question, what's the drama? We have several.
A few things happen.
It's not as bad as it could be. We had no family drama, which is great. I think a lot of people have family drama.
No lost friendships.
No bridesmaids, groomsmen drama.
So again, we talked about this earlier, but we tried doing no ring, no bring for our wedding. And that's a tough conversation to have. Because really, we just don't want to invite people if their relationship isn't
Yeah, you
good.
can't check in.
Do I say that?
You can't check in on a friend and be like, hey, are you guys stable? You know what I mean?
I did ask a friend that, and I worded it very poorly. It was definitely my fault. I think he got upset at it. I was like, fair. I could have done this more delicately. Yeah.
It was hard, but I think it's just like a sensitive thing. You gotta really know your friends well. Another is about 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, we got a last minute text from one of my attendees, one of our guests. She was like, can I bring a +1 to the wedding? I was like, girl, I didn't even know you were dating. I'm like, so happy for you. Let me check the seating arrangement. And then I look back on the DM and it said potential. And I'm just like, huh? Hold up, what? And I'm like, is this your boyfriend? Let's just say I got paragraphs. And I think I was really conflicted because I think I got overexcited.
You jumped the gun.
Yeah, I jumped the gun. We didn't allow everyone to have +1s. And so this is really last minute. Y'all don't seem to be dating right now. Maybe that could change. We ended up letting them come because if I said no, I feel like
You're the bad guy.
Yeah, I'm the bad guy and I don't want to do that. But if they do come and things go well, it's a great memory for everyone. So I'm just like hopeful for the great memory, but I definitely thought about it for like a while. I'm sorry, girl. You might be watching this right now. Love to you, dude. Love to you. We love you. I love you. I just want you to love. It was hard, dude. This is logistically hard.
Guest lists are just hard.
Another interesting drama point was like on a Saturday, I'm just minding my own business, eating food, and all of a sudden I get a text. Hey, it's blank, new number, and I'm catching up with blank mutual friend a long time ago. And she said that your wedding is coming up in Taiwan. Let me know if anyone drops out. I'm happy to fly over and support.
Girl, did you just invite yourself to our wedding?
Oh my God. And I haven't talked to her since college. I didn't know people would do that. What? I called some friends and I'm like, hey, were we all friends? I blacked out, I feel like all of college. I was so logged in on school that I have this thing where I don't remember if we were friends because I thought I had no friends. That was actually more dramatic than I described it, but it'd be like that. It's like nice, but also confusing. That was that. Last piece of drama, a week and a half ago, at our very last meeting before we left for China, our wedding planners cried. We talked about this a lot, the communication culture. There was like a last minute thing where we would have been charged like $2,000 over.
There was a hiccup, a scare.
There was a scare. I was really upset because we had this playbook ready for months and no one brought it up. And then now we had to face this consequence. And I'm like, hold up, this is not my fault whatsoever. This is not our fault. Why is this happening? And I think my intensity gave them a lot of anxiety and they were trying their best. And I think what happened was my planners were like really trying to be perfect and amazing for me, but I don't need perfect. I just need you to tell me. I kept reminding people like we're on the same side. If you face a problem, I face a problem. I will solve it with you. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about like translating everything properly. Just send it to me in Chinese and I'm here to solve it with you. And I think after that session, we got really close. Like we all like put love together.
There was a lot of just stress and anxiety on both sides.
We're really in this together. I said, I really want this to be a wedding you enjoy planning and I want to be a good client for you. And I really think they did a phenomenal job. I'm just like really intense and it's bilingual. I think people try to be too perfect. Perfect is impossible. There's no such thing as perfect. We're just doing our best. So love for planners.
Those are all of our questions.
Whew, that was long.
We're running late to dinner, so here is a rapid fire list of wedding predictions.
Be the first to cry during the ceremony. Which one of us?
I think you'll cry because I'm doing my vows first and I think you're going to cry during my vows.
Right.
And then I might cry during your vows, but that's after.
Would you cry again after with your dad's speech or something?
I don't think so. I think I would only cry during the ceremony.
I think I'm going to cry at my brother's speech. Will the parents cry?
My mom's going to cry. My dad has not cried since he's like 18
Your
for like
dad's
anything.
So metal. Your dad's crazy. Which guests will cry? I think some guests will cry for sure.
No, some guests will definitely cry. I don't know how we're going to list which ones unless we go through the whole guest list.
I think some girls will cry.
Some guys will cry.
Do you think Eric Way will cry? I think he might cry.
Really?
I don't know. I think he's a little bit emotional.
He can be romantic.
Way.
Yeah, he's a romantic
guy.
Be the first on the dance floor. Our groomsmen groomsmen and bridesmaids because we will tell them to go
We force
first
them.
on the
We
dance
force
floor.
them. Which wedding guest will no-show? I think probably my dad's family friends.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's most likely.
Yeah.
It's fine. It is what it is.
Who will be the friend that will hit it off with the family?
Yvonne.
I was thinking the same thing, actually.
Alaric, too.
Whoever can speak really good Chinese and is good with like old people.
Old people.
Yeah.
He would be good with the family.
Oh, he's good.
He's good with the family.
First thing that goes wrong.
Probably everything.
We're going to be running late.
I heard every wedding, everything goes wrong. Like what can go wrong will go wrong.
But what's the first thing that goes wrong?
I think lateness. Everything's running late.
We're going to be like filming some video and then not be ready yet for the next thing.
Oh, this is a big one.
Will Chloe's ankle get better so she can wear heels? My answer is yes. It just has to be yes.
We just have to manifest it. Pray for me, guys.
The only answer is yes. Who will have the better vows?
I think you unexpectedly.
Really? I think you're the better writer. All you do is write.
And then the
last question.
Last prediction.
Will Chloe have a mental breakdown?
I think my mental breakdown has already come. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a mental breakdown.
I think you'll be super stressed, but I don't think you'll have a mental breakdown. I think we've done a lot of the planning in advance. Everything is kind of set now.
Yeah.
I think we will be okay.
I think I'm someone who does really well under intense pressure.
Because once you're in the moment, it's just we need to solve.
Like,
there's no time for emotions. We just need to solve.
There's no emotions. Yeah. Exactly. If it doesn't work out, it just kind of doesn't work out. And you're like, you hate to see it. That's it, everyone. Well, the next time I see you will be in the vlog of the rest of this week. We're going to go head out to dinner. We're running a little bit late, which is bad because my aunt might kill me. I hope you enjoy this wedding series and coming on this wedding journey with us. I mean, we're having fun. I hope you're having fun watching this too and you're learning a lot as well. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Bye, everyone.
See you next video.
Bye. Sorry, it's so like dark now. We don't have our lights.
We recorded for too long.
I know. Goodbye. Bye.